So Pokemon, the company, pays players to attend international and world level events. How do they do that, you may ask? Well, we're going to talk about that today and what players can do to earn a travel award or a stipend to attend an international championship or the Pokemon World Championships. Now, for players like myself, in yesterday's video, I talked about how much it costs for me to attend every event and, why it's financially a terrible decision. But today we're going to talk about why, in some regards, you can get some of that money back, some of that damage cost back with stipends to international championships. And if you're a player who is gunning to try to get to one of these international championships or the world championships, or why top 16 is so important for the year, well, today we're going to talk about stipends and travel awards. I'm doing this today because the LAIC Travel Awards Stipend Board was updated last night. So it seems like a perfectly topical conversation to have today. It's another aspect of top competitive Pokemon that players don't really think about when they're playing, but I feel like it's something that we should talk about just for, a brief moment. And you can put it in the back of your mind, and if things go your way, you might get a stipend one day. So starting off, Pokemon International Championships, there are 4 of them across the year. Latin America, Oceania, North America, and Europe, where we will travel to all 4 of these regions to compete once a season in, the months between November, February, April, June. We're going to go to all 4 of these, and some of these can get really pricey. I think Latin America and Oceania are very pricey for those in the US and Europe, but then once you, go, the bottom 2 are very manageable for your NA in Europe, but the rest of the world has a little bit of a difficult time getting to these 2. But what are awards for travel? So TCG and VGC players can qualify for travel awards based on their performance and standing in the championship points in their home rating zone. Meaning, it doesn't matter where you earn these championship points, but you are compared against players in your own rating zone, meaning you are compared against other North American players. Latin America is compared against their own region, Europe against their own, and Oceania in their own, during a standalone qualification period. Meaning every 3 months or every quarter, we will reset the leaderboards to 0 for stipends. The overall leaderboard for the year will be continuing. I will show an example of this towards the end of the video. But the overall leaderboards will stay the same towards the World Championships, towards the overall World's Travel Award. But for each stipend quarter, we start back at 0, meaning everybody gets a fresh slate, a fresh start to go. Now, the kicker that kind of sucks for players is that the international championship at the end of the stipend quarter is kind of the cutoff. It's like the mark saying, like, this is the deadline weekend. Like for Latin America weekend, it was the North American International weekend that cut off the weekend. But for Oceania, it will be the Monday following. Wait, what? Monday following the 2022 American NAIC to the Sunday of the Latin American International Championships, as it says right here. So as soon as NAIC ended, the stipend period for the Oceania period kicks off, meaning those League Cups that we potentially could have had over the summer that would have started early would have counted. So far in this block, we've had Baltimore Regionals, the London Open. We'll have Salt Lake City, Peoria, and Latin American International. And so some players are heading to Warsaw as well, Poland, to add another regional to their belt, and Lille as well to add another regional to their belt to potentially fight for these stipends, because that $1,000 extra could make a difference between actually deciding whether or not you want to go financially. But it has all of the dates listed here. Awards for the first European Internationals are based on Monday following the Latin American Internationals to the Sunday of the Oceania Internationals. So while the Internationals, like in Oceania and Latin America, they will provide a huge chunk of points if you perform decently, that is a big differentiator. So anything can happen on the final hour. I've seen the standing shift significantly towards the end of the international period, but consistent performance will reward you to go to the next one. And there's a snowball effect, obviously. So how much are you actually getting, and what do you have to place? Players who finish 5th through 16th in the Pokemon TCG or 5th through 8th in the VGC are eligible to earn a $1,000 travel stipend. It's paid to them after the event and subject to them attending and competing at least one round of the main event. So you can't miss registrations. You can't miss any of that. You got to show up. You got to play one round, and then you'll get $1,000 in your account 4 to 6 weeks after. Maybe 8 weeks. I don't know. I don't really keep track of that. It just kind of shows up in my bank account. I have direct deposit set up. And the players who qualify for the flat travel award will be... I used to believe that you were allowed to take a hotel and flight, but that might not be the case anymore. Wow, I started really bad there. I do when I'm tired, but you might not be able to do that anymore. But if you are under 18 and you're going out of your region, meaning if you're a U.S. player going to Europe, Oceania, or Latin America, you will receive $5,000 USD pre-tax, and you'll receive $2,500 if it is in your own region. And if you're 18 plus, you'll get $3,500, and in region $2,000. Now this applies to Worlds Travel Awards as well, because for Worlds, the top 16 all 16 receive travel awards, but for internationals, it's 1st through 4th that will receive a travel award, and 5th through 16th will receive the $1,000 travel stipend. That's a very important distinction to make. Now, you can, this is not relevant. I'm trying to find, okay, it doesn't say whether or not you can take hotel or not anymore. I don't remember. Let me pull up my email in a separate tab real quick so I don't dox myself that I got for Worlds. Maybe the email says something about, maybe it says something about, like, nope, no, it doesn't say anything in general. So I'm just assuming we get cash, like flat cash now, as opposed to even the ability to do that. But anyway, whatever. So official rules for redeeming the travel awards. You will get an email from the Pokemon coordinator, the play coordinator, whoever it is. I think it's JR currently. You'll get an email. Here, look. The travel award trip amenity consists solely of one economy class round trip ticket from a major gateway airport closest to the prize winner city and their winner's information form that you'll have to provide back to them. You have to provide a form and some paperwork you have to sign. Just basically saying that, like, you're not responsible for anything that happens. They're not responsible for anything that happens. And then you will get a hotel, I believe, when you're there. But it won't cover any, obviously, like, food, travel, anything like that, transport. That's all on you. So, I can never see a world where that $3,500 or like $5,000 is worth spending for yourself. Like, I don't think any trip will ever cost that much for a flight and a hotel. Maybe Worlds is like the only one that I could see happening, but I would never. I think it's always better to travel cheaper. You can travel cheaper. And I can, help you guys if you have any questions with that. If you've received a travel award or a stipend, like, please feel free to ask me questions and I can try to help you min-max your travel to these internationals, because I do help a lot of my friends because not everyone's the best with travel. So basically you get like an email and you get a bunch of forms sent to you, and you basically fill out your forms, some tax forms if you haven't already done that for any prize money you've won prior. You do your 1099, your W-9 that they send you, a bunch of stuff that you just have to fill out. It's not long paperwork, and you basically say, like, I am foregoing the automatic trip given to me in favor of cash, if that's the deal. If not, you're just saying I'm taking the award itself, or not the award, but like the trip, like the flight and the hotel, as opposed to the money. So whatever happens in your governing region will take precedence, and then you go from there. So how do you check these leaderboards? Right? So when you go to the Masters leaderboards, or whatever region and whatever you are on the Pokemon TCG leaderboards, you will go to X World Championships. Right now, the 2023 World Championship leaderboard's not updated. So this would be your running total for the year. So you can see here that the top 16 players all received a travel award to go to the World Championships. I did it basically barely, which is kind of crazy. It's the 16th, we got there, baby. And so you can track this year round to see, like, where your standing is, how you are, stacking up against some of the best competitors, whatever, and it'll show you up here. But individually, it'll show here when you go to 2023 Latin American Championship, you can see highlighted the 16 players who received either a travel award or a stipend. You can see that the top 4 here, Isaiah Bradner, Azul Garcia Griego, Brian Kim, John Eng, all received a travel award to attend the Latin American International Championships, and they should be receiving emails soon. 5th through 16th, you will not get any emails, anything. You might get one email just saying, like, hey, you have received a stipend to attend the Latin American Internationals, but besides that, you don't get any follow-up, really. So between 5th and 16th, you'll get your email, and you basically just show up and play. And if you show up and play one round, you will get your $1,000. Now, granted, right now going to Latin America is over $1,000, so I don't know if, like, I expect some of these perennial travelers to usually go, but I don't expect a majority of these players to end up attending. But I don't really know what, I think in a case of a tie, they'll give it a 17, so Luke Smith should get it as well. An interesting scenario, not my cup of tea. But you can see like this kind of leaderboards will continue, and you can keep stacking on top of this. And so when the Oceania period, which has already begun, when they put Baltimore into the system, this page should be updated to have a drop-down menu here to say 2023 Oceania International Championships, where you can then go track and see, hey, how am I stacking up? I earned 40 points at Baltimore. Maybe I earned 60 points at Peoria. Is this worth it for me to go to Salt Lake now? Is it worth it for me to go to another regionals? So these questions start to come into the back of your mind. So basically, just know that stipends are there to kind of help you as a player. And I know that there have been players in the past who have been helped by stipends. Like, let's look and see, like, just off a whim. Let's just say, let's just do like 2020 Latin America. Like NatCap could have gone that year if you wanted to, with a stipend. I think so. I forgot who I actually got. Yeah, I think Ben Branch was significantly helped by getting the travel award to Oceania because it was a difficult. Wow, these guys are 900 points in that period. That's crazy. Wow, Grant was crazy good. Oh my god. But anyway, I earned 5. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, but anyway, this is like what you can do as a player to help mitigate some of your costs as a top player. Because like if I'm earning, let's say I get 3 of the 5 travel awards for the year. That is about $11,000 coming back into my pocket. And that mitigates a significant amount of the cost that it takes to travel. And it can help you break even. So hopefully this video actually helped someone out there who is looking for stipends or what it takes to get to the next level. I like talking about this stuff because it is something that I know very well, but I know players are not very familiar with in this day and age. So if there's other like interesting concepts that you might not know fully, please feel free to reach out and ask in the comments, because I will cover them. I do like talking about this kind of top level stuff that I'm very well versed with. So thank you so much for watching as always, and please like and subscribe to the video. See you guys later.